Yeah, okay. So I've been thinking about this lazy business. I heard some jerk off, probably TikTok or something like that. I'm a little addicted to TikTok. I listen to it every morning before I get out of bed. Actually, I get my phone, and my wife is so nice and kind. She brings me my coffee. So before all that happens, I sit there and I stare at TikTok. Every now and then, if somebody pisses me off, I'll write something. I'll type something and say, you're an idiot. But anyway, back to this laziness. I think basically the Republicans are probably the laziest people. Elected Republican officials are probably the laziest people on the planet. They don't do one goddamn thing. I mean, I've been watching them now for closely for the last 10 years, and for the last 45, 50 years, I watched them when I could in between working and trying to make a living, which I did a lot of. I played guitar for 30 some years in shit kicker bands at night. That was fun until I got older. Then it wasn't that much fun. And in between all that, in the daytime, I went and pounded nails, one way or the other. I was a general contractor, plumber, punk sheetrock, electrician, whatever. I did just about everything there is to do in the construction business, and residential work. Anyway, back to laziness. So, and it's not. I guess it's not just Republicans. Let me just say this: there is Christian cinema or Kristen cinema or whatever her fucking name is, and then Joe Manchin. It was a couple of the two laziest, and I might say scumbags in the Senate. Now then, there's all the rest of the Republicans with them. There might be some old timey Republicans that still have a work ethic, but not too much, not too many. And if the thing of it is, I've been watching them sitting there for years and years and doing nothing but complaining and bitching and telling us how we're not going to let the Democrats do anything. We're not going to fuck health care, all that stuff. And now they've saddled up with the lackeys for the ultra rich, the new Supreme Court, and that's all they are. They're just another bunch of lackeys for the very wealthy people that constantly try to control us, the government, through the government. They succeed in lots of areas and lots of times, but it's and nothing's monolithic. It's gray areas everywhere, right? So I got to thinking about these Southern Republicans, you know, especially if you go back about 150 years. I mean, talk about lazy sons of bitches, slave owners. You can't get much more lazy than that. Just, you know, yeah, our economy's built on slavery. We don't have to do anything. But we got these people that we paid for, so they do all the work. Just insanity. That's what our country's founded on. That's how our country was built. That kind of lazy man mentality, that lording over everybody else, because I'm basically too lazy to get my hands dirty. Shit. And Joe Manchin, you know, here he is, and he's another lazy asshole. He doesn't do anything. He sits up there. The Senate for him is just another. It's a side hustle. You know, what does he? What do the senators make? $175,000 or something like that. I don't know exactly, but it's a lot of money for the way I think about it. That's a lot of money, and it's nothing compared to his. He belongs to a conglomerate that's an energy conglomerate that's invested in all these companies that deal in oil and coal and natural gas. And then him and his son-in-law actually have that coal removal and disposal company, which is actually probably the worst thing that there is in the environment. Or he takes that coal slag and somehow they refine the coal out of it and then turn around and resell it as cheap coal. It's just fucking disgusting. And then he's not signing any legislation to help the planet build back better. Hell no. Start the filibuster? My God, not the filibuster. What a piece of crap. He is just a piece of crap. And the Jilly Silly Cinema, whatever her name is, Jilted Jilly Cinema is just another lazy. She's just sitting over there in Arizona. She's so lazy she just turned her phone off. I read this article from the Phoenix Sun Journal or whatever it was. People, her constituents have been trying to call her. They can't get through the phones. They just shut the phone off. Oh, we're not taking calls. Thanks for voting for us. And she's like a big pharma, you know. She was voting really a lot to, I just. So anyway, lazy people. They're all lazy. These fat fucking rich bastards. You don't think Donald Trump's just a lazy fat, and his whole family. Oh, and they think because they went and partied and negotiated with say the Crown Prince Whopper Chopper over there in um, the Saudi family land that was given to them after World War One. So they get billions for joking around. They probably went to a polo game where they went and danced with some swords or something. Him and Jared Kushner. I can see it now. That's probably not all they did. Those boys are pretty cute, huh? Smiling at each other. Little Brokeback Mountain back on the, midnight at the Oasis. Hey, you bet. That's the other thing about, um, you know, the back in those days, 1700s, 1800s, the way people dressed, the rich people. These are the gayest motherfuckers on the planet that look like that. Regular old people didn't dress like that. They couldn't afford it. God, most people probably couldn't even afford shoes. Store-bought clothes. Hell no. That was a ridiculously expensive. Have store-bought clothes. Anyway, I just had the thought just came to my mind. I was thinking about watching something. I don't know what it was, and then It just dawned on me, slave owners, the laziest people on the planet. Yeah, that's enough of that. Adios.